People lie.
Okay, I
You can
feel
say
like
one thing.
I
You can
think
say
that you're
one
right that
thing.
people lie, and I think right now you're lying to yourself. I
I'm
appreciate you
not.
coming on. Yes, you are. I appreciate you coming on here. You need to reread the verse. You're just telling yourself that it's being interpreted wrong, but yet there's no justification for that, other than you don't want to believe the more literal interpretation and the way that's clear and internally consistent.
Hold on. I'm not going to listen to you. I'm not going to sit here and allow you to tell me what I'm getting wrong when you clearly have you can not believe in God. I don't care whether or not you believe in God, but I'm not going to sit here and let you tell me what I got wrong because I know this stuff better than you do.
Well,
You
it
just
doesn't
disagree with them.
show. Maybe you just
But
need
you
to work a little harder on that then. Because if
But
you
you just-
either you know more than I do and you're just really bad at communicating it, or you're lying again that you know more than me.
It was about last time because you misinterpreted Exodus 10:1 because
Exodus
basic
10:1. Okay, hold on. Oh. Hold on. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Go to Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart." Okay, go ahead. Now I'm clear.
you misinterpret. Oh yeah, you misinterpreted because for one, God was not being literal. He was just saying basically, the Pharaoh will not listen to me and will not listen to you, but still warn him what will happen if you don't free his people. That was just
Then why did
basically
God
that.
say he was the one who did it? And this wasn't just the only time.
Okay, you need to understand the whole context of Exodus. It was basically the Pharaoh basically not listening to God. They did not believe the
I know the
God of
story.
Israel.
No,
Yeah,
I understand. I know the story. And I also know that it is commonly depicted as Pharaoh being just really stubborn. But I don't understand why God would say, I have hardened his hearts and the hearts of his officials. And then he gives a
because
good explanation. Like, it seems like you're jumping through more hoops to try and interpret it differently than the literal reading. Like, he not only says he did it, but then he gives a reason why he did it.
reason why. The thing is, harden. The way I understand it is, harden his heart. The Pharaoh's heart and his officials are already hardened against him. He did not do anything. He just know it because God is all knowing. But that's the situation. That was the context being. He was not being He was not being literal in that sense. Like,
Hold on.
it's just, to me, it's just you're presenting a bad reading.
No,
of
I'm
that
not.
one.
It's more okay. So first of all, Exodus 10. Yeah, Exodus 10:1. I have hardened his heart and the hearts of his officials. The next one, the Lord changed the wind, blah, blah, blah. Not a locust was left anywhere in Egypt. Listen to this. Exodus 10:16. Pharaoh quickly summoned Moses and Aaron and said, I have sinned against the Lord your God and against you. Now forgive my sin once more and pray. Oops, what happened? Sorry, I lost that there for a second. And pray to the Lord your God to take this deadly plague away from me. Moses then left Pharaoh and prayed to the Lord, and the Lord changed the wind. So they carried the locusts away. Then Exodus 10:20, but the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not let the Israelites go. Why is Pharaoh literally saying he was wrong and repenting, and then God is literally intervening and hardening his heart again?
Again, that's a misinterpretation.
Nah, dude, you're in denial right now.
I'm not. The thing is, that's a misinterpretation because
Okay.
the
Let's
Pharaoh
cope.
was still being stubborn, still not listening. He was.
It doesn't
not
sound like he was
let-
stubborn when he said he has sinned and was
You ever
begging
heard
for
that?
forgiveness.
You ever consider that people may lie?
But he's doing it over and over again. Then Pharaoh summoned Moses and said, go worship the Lord. Even your women and children may go with you. Blah, 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 blah. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he was not willing to let them go. Yeah. So I don't know. It sounds like you're the one misinterpreting it, to be honest, my friend.
No, I'm not misinterpreting it.
Okay.
You're misinterpreted. I explained why. I don't
No,
know,
you
but
didn't explain why. You just
no,
you just gave your opinion that's not even justified, and the verse is way clearer the other way around
no.
with what I'm saying.
One again, it goes. It's a consistent theme throughout. Again, I've been. It's a consistent theme throughout the Bible. The Bible, throughout the
Okay.
Bible, especially in the Old Testament and to the lesser extent the New Testament. That when God says something, especially through His prophets, He means it. And when you don't listen to Him, bad things tend to happen. There's consequences that will follow.
It sounds like when you
Yes,
read the story, Pharaoh was listening to him, and then God was preventing him from doing it.
again, God was not preventing him from doing
He said,
anything.
this is why I'm explaining to you. From my perspective, the entire verse is consistent. Your perspective makes no sense, and also
How's
means,
wait?
because hold on,
Hold
I'm
on.
explaining. I'm explaining because from your version, you have to just like tell yourself that that's not what it meant, even though that's what it's saying in front of you. So first, it's entirely consistent with God's behavior throughout this entire chapter because it says the first beginning of it is, I have hardened his heart and the hearts of his officials so that I may perform these signs of mine among them, that you may tell your children and grandchildren how I dealt harshly with the Egyptians and how I perform my signs among them, and that you may know that I am the Lord. So God's reason for this was because he wanted to flex that he was God. And so then every time Pharaoh's caving, God goes in there, hardens his heart up again, and then keeps on showing off his signs. What I'm saying, the interpretation I'm giving is what's being read, my friend. You're coping.
Well, so you're gonna go against years of theology and Bible and studies of the
Yes.
Bible and interpretations of the Bible. So you
Yup.
basically say that God is imposing His wills on the Pharaoh because that's not how God works throughout the Old Testament. I'm sorry.
Again, you're in denial. You have an
I'm
image.
not.
You have an image in your head, probably of how you were taught of how God is supposed to be. So when you're confronted with clear depictions of God behaving in a way that's contradictory to the way you were raised, you don't know how to handle it, and so you just break down and make justifications. You're saying God doesn't do this. That's not how God. It is how God works. This God does
Uh,
do this because this is what He did.
okay.
So that's why I'm saying you're coping.
Go. Let's see. I'm perfectly willing to admit that the God of the Bible, the Old Testament, is very violent,
And God
very
is the same
punishing.
today, yesterday, and forever, right?
Yeah, yeah. But the point of the being is when God the story of God's wrath. It's not. It is out of anger. Throughout the Bible it says the Lord was hot in His anger, etc.
Okay.
But the point being is it's always justified in the sense that we were doing wrong, that we were going against Him, going out the
You're
line.
just repeating the same thing you already said, and that's not going to
I
cut it because
I
because
you
according to the story, Pharaoh was not doing something wrong. He was
but you
complying with God's wishes, then God kept making his heart hard again.
he was not complying God with you because the Lord
He also
because the
noted that I
Pharaoh
am
did
an
not
ape and I should go
believe
F myself.
in the God of Israel. He did not believe it. None
Except
of
for
his
the
officials.
times that he said he would.
Except, and have you considered the fact that people lie? That's the thing. We could go back and forth, but
Okay.
people people lie.
Okay, I
You can
feel
say
like
one thing.
I
You can
think that
say
you're
one
right that
thing.
people lie, and I think right now you're lying to yourself. I
I'm
appreciate you
not.
coming on. Yes, you are. I appreciate you coming on here. You need to reread the verse. You're just telling yourself that it's being interpreted wrong, but yet there's no justification for that, other than you don't want to believe the more literal interpretation and the way that's clear and internally
Hold,
consistent.
hold on. I'm not going to. I'm not going to listen to. I'm not going to sit here and allow you to tell me what I'm getting wrong when you clearly have the. You can not believe in God. I don't care whether or not you believe in God, but I'm not going to sit here and let you tell me what I got wrong because I know this stuff better than you do. You do.
Well,
You
it
just
doesn't
disagree with him,
show. Maybe you just
but
need to work a little harder on that then. Because
But you
if
just
you either you know more than I do and you're just really bad at communicating it, or you're lying again that you know more than me.
yeah, you can't just ah, man. I'm tripping up my words. Sorry,
It's
but
okay. I just take a deep breath, reread the verse,
it's
move
not
out of the copium.
it's not really cope.
All right, bye. Okay. Good first call. Good first call. There we go.